Hi, welcome to UTP Presents. My name is Brandon Walton, and today on the show we're going to be talking about Boise State volleyball. I'd like to welcome in my guests at this time, freshman outside hitter Sierra Nobley and head coach Shawn Garus. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us in.
So first question, I'll start with you, Coach. Give me your background in the sport of volleyball.
I grew up in Southern California, went to college at Cal State San Bernardino, found volleyball about my second year in college and just loved it. I played on the men's club team during college, and then after college I pursued a career as a pro beach volleyball player, and I was also coaching in the off-season. Coaching became a little bit more my focus after a couple years playing on the beach, and now I've landed here at Boise State and just finished my 6th season.
How about you, Sierra?
I started playing club volleyball when I was like 9 years old, so it's been about 10 years playing volleyball. And I played on my varsity team for 4 years in high school. And we were very successful, so I just fell in love with it and I decided to pursue it in college. And so yeah, it's been about 10 years.
Sierra, what is it about the sport of volleyball that you love so much?
I really like the spontaneity of it. It's kind of like everything is going on and things are just happening all the time. And I remember playing softball for a long time. And I remember I would go to softball practice and then I would go to volleyball practice, and it was just so much more involved and so much more exciting, and I just love that.
How about you, Coach?
For volleyball? Mm-hmm. You know what, I like the coaching side of it. I like to see the player development. You bring in, or you identify a player in the recruiting process, and you see them change during their college years and become something that you're going to be really proud of when they leave with a degree from your school and the experience of having played as a collegiate athlete.
Now, Coach, how did you end up becoming the head coach at Boise State? What was that process like? I
had been the head coach at University of North Carolina, Greensboro prior to this. I really liked the job that I had there in North Carolina, but my athletic director retired, and it really made me think about what I want to be in the future. And the Boise State job came open in the summer of 2009, and I talked with my wife about the opportunity to move back out west. Since we're both from California, that made a lot of sense. And we love the upside of what Boise has as a community and what we could do here within the program. So it ended up being a perfect fit, and we're really happy to be here.
You mentioned you've been here 6 years. Just briefly describe your time. What have those 6 years been like being the head coach of this program?
It's been really enjoyable. I took over a program that wasn't in great shape, and that happens a lot when there's a coaching change. Sometimes the program's down a little bit. We had to develop a little bit different culture in the gym, recruit a different style of athlete to fit what we want to see on the court. But I'm really pleased with where we're at. The move from the WAC to the Mountain West has been an exciting one. It's put us in a bigger, better conference where volleyball is taken very seriously, and we're excited to be moving up the standings and looking forward to competing for a championship in the future.
Sierra, how did you end up at Boise State, and why did you choose to come here?
It kind of just all happened really fast. I was in the recruiting process, calling coaches, and I called this one to come watch me in Arizona, and he said that he had seen me before and he didn't think I was quite ready, and then I called him that time to see me at the Fiesta Classic, I think it was, and he was like, "You are ready, this is exactly what we want," and it just was the perfect fit. So
what was it about Boise that kind of drew you here, that this is the school that you wanted to play at?
Well, I actually didn't know where Boise was at first, but my aunt married a man from Boise. And I was like, I want to check that out, and I did, and it just looked perfect. It had exactly the academics that I wanted and the kind of culture that I wanted. So when I visited here, it just felt perfect.
Now, Sierra, you guys are coming off a pretty successful season, 18-12, 11-7 in conference. That's the most conference wins you guys have had in years. Give me your thoughts on this last season you guys had.
It was really exciting. I don't have any experience from the past. It was just my first year, and I think it was a pretty good first year. Definitely could be better, and I'm excited to see what we can accomplish in the future. So.
Now, Coach, it seems like this has been a program, at least when I've been watching, it's been on the up and up, and it seems like now you guys are maybe ready to break through. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. We had a lot of success last year, and tied for 4th in an 11-team conference, and played some really good volleyball down the stretch. But being led by your underclassmen is always exciting. So we had multiple all-conference players, including Sierra, that you return, and I think you can start to see, I think you can start to see the nucleus of a group that can play together for years and try to do some things that haven't been done before.
Now, Sierra, as Coach mentioned, you're one of those young players. You had an outstanding year. All Mountain West team, freshman of the year, set the kill record for a freshman. I mean, did you expect to have this type of season in your first year at Boise State?
I didn't even expect to be a starter, honestly. It was a happy surprise when he said, you need to focus on what you can do past that. You've already got the starting spot. I remember that conversation. I was really complimented. And I just feel like in the future, it's going to be even easier now that I'm more comfortable. And so, I did not expect the success that I had. I just played my game, and it fit well with the program. So,
Coach, your thoughts on Sierra's season? Did you expect this from her? I mean, just this outstanding season she had?
I was definitely excited about her senior year as a club player. She was already committed to Boise State, but every time I went down to Arizona or another tournament to see her play, I saw her growth. And it started to look like this is a freshman that could be ready to play. And that's really tough. It's really tough to recruit a freshman that's ready. And we had really good players in the program as well. So for her to come in and earn that starting spot right away, my only concern was that it's going to be too much. And I was really trying to guard her from maybe the outside distractions, the extra media that might be on her because she's leading our team in kills or because she's a freshman that's starting. But she handled it all so well. I also tried to keep her role a little bit smaller. She focused on just the front row skills early in the season, and then eventually she showed me that she had that under control and she was ready to expand and play some back row and could offer more to the team if I kept her in there. So her role just grew and grew because her talent was there, and she ended up having maybe the best freshman season we've seen at Boise State.
Sierra, were you pretty nervous at the start being a freshman, kind of being in a new program, but did you get more comfortable as the games progressed? Or?
Yeah, I was definitely nervous. I was nervous about fitting in with the girls, but they were totally ready for me and they wanted me to reach my full potential, and I think that was a really important part of it.
Now, Coach, along with Sierra, you had 3 other players achieve Mountain West honors. You had Sarah Baugh, Caitlin Oliver, and Maddie O'Donnell. Just talk about the young talent that seems to be on this team for you.
All right, well, starting with the other youngster, Caitlin Oliver, she's a redshirt freshman for us. She came to us from Helena, Montana. Not a ton of high-level volleyball experience as a junior player. So she redshirted the previous year and really got herself mentally and physically ready for this season. And she did a terrific job, and she continues to grow every day in our program. So I look forward to big things from her in the future. Maddie O'Donnell, I feel like she had a breakout season. She was fantastic for us start to finish. Plays in the middle blocker position, led our team defensively. At the net, she was our best blocking player. And she's a really dynamic athlete, and she continues to improve as well. And then Sarah Baugh is our real leader. She's the court captain. She's really feisty. She holds people accountable, and I really see her as an extension of the coach out on the floor because she has those high demands on people around her, and she really did a tremendous job. And Sarah had always been playing in this program, but this was her year to really take it and run as our primary setter, and I thought she did a great job. So returning all of those kids is definitely exciting for the future.
To see 4 players recognized this season, I mean, does that make you just feel really good as a coach? Or?
It was a very exciting conference call that I had with the other coaches from around the conference to kind of hear where our players were thought of around the league. I mean, I knew that they were really good, but to hear the respect that they were getting from my peers was really exciting.
Do you see Sierra as the future of this program? Like she could possibly take this program to new heights? Or
she's definitely a big part of it. But as she will tell you, there's a lot of other kids playing really good volleyball right now in the gym. And in volleyball, I really feel like you need a nucleus of talent. If you only had one good player, then that's one person that the other team's going to really try to key on. And I feel like we're ready for that. If they want to key on Sierra, we've got 2-3 others that are ready to step up and play. But the young nucleus that we have is definitely exciting.
Sierra, speaking of that young nucleus, you guys, Coach mentioned a plethora of young talent on this team for next season. Are you excited about what next season could hold for you guys?
I really am. This spring especially, we've been practicing with that core group that's going to be returning next year, and I think we have really good chemistry together. I think we all have the same goals in mind. Some of the older players might have been in the program when they didn't have the potential to win the conference and go to the tournament. So I think we all have the similar mindset, and we're really focused on that.
Do you think even next season you'll do better because now you have that year under your belt, you'll be more comfortable within the team?
Definitely, yeah. And I'm definitely trying to work on the other parts of my game rather than just attacking, which is what I've been successful with. So I'm trying to become like a more well-rounded player.
Sierra, what would you like to accomplish during your time here at Boise State?
I want to win the conference, honestly. That's what I'm mainly focused on, but also just building myself physically and emotionally and just becoming a more well-rounded player, like I said.
Now, Sierra, along with Caitlin Oliver, you got to participate in the USA tryouts. What was that experience like?
It was eye-opening. A lot of times college players are kind of confined to their own gym and their own conference, but I was exposed to all different types of players, really high-level players, and I got to kind of see where I matched up with them and how well, where I can improve.
How did you think you did during that whole experience?
I think we did very well. We stayed kind of in the middle of the pack for most of it and towards maybe like the top of the middle of the pack. And Caitlin and I both performed really well despite the altitude and the different type of ball. I think we were so focused that didn't really impact us as much.
Coach,
Coach,
what did you think of having two of your players, get to participate in such a great experience? USA Volleyball is a pretty big deal.
Right. Well, going back a couple of months prior to and explaining the opportunity that I felt like they had to go and showcase their skills at that level, I remember both of them having a lot of questions. What does it mean? Who's going to be there? Who's coaching it? And with all those questions in your head, it's sometimes hard to go out there and just perform. But I felt like by the time they got there, they were very ready physically. They had really good training leading up to that tryout camp. And then I thought they really showed well at the tryout camp. Their fitness was great. Their intensity was really good. And from coming from somewhat of a small program that's not on the national scene in volleyball, like Boise State, I thought they represented themselves and their program very, very well. So I was very proud of them.
Sierra, have you found out if you and Caitlin are going to be a part of that team, or?
Not yet, but I think that they're going to notify us pretty soon. So I'm excited to hear where we ended up.
Coach, you think their chances are pretty good that maybe they could be part of that team?
Yes, USA Volleyball has a really good development program for college-age athletes, and so they're looking to be selected for one of maybe 3 different tiers for athletes that are in their age group. And I think they do have a chance. If they don't make it this year, they'll just be more prepared when we send them to the tryout again next year.
Now, how does the whole tryout process work? Do you personally select people you want to participate in that, or is it kind of up to the players?
Right. It is an it is an open tryout, but I kind of know what USA Volleyball is looking for. I have a good rapport with one of the assistant coaches, and some of it's the physical side. How tall are they? How high do they jump? And so they're really looking for us to send the best of the best to that tryout. And we have a lot of kids that are playing good volleyball, but I felt like as 2 freshmen that were award-winning freshmen at our conference level, they were the right 2 to go to this event. And we've had players from Boise State that I've sent in the past. Our current assistant coach, Brianne Nesselhoff, went 3 years ago, and before that, Alicia Young. So we've had some other players go and were not selected for teams, and I felt like this year the measurables are there and the talent is there, and Caitlin and Sierra were the right picks.
Now, Coach, your team has also had success off the court. You guys had 4 all Mountain West academic honors. I mean, how does that make you feel, and is academics just as equally important as the athletic part at Boise State?
Oh, it's absolutely important. It starts in the recruiting process. We're trying to identify people that are good fits for Boise State and on the volleyball court, but also academically. So I feel like our student athletes are doing a really good job of balancing all the travel and the workload that we have as a student athlete, but also keeping the grades up. So we did have 4 that were recognized at the conference level, but also Sierra, who's not recognized because you have to be a returning student athlete. She had a 4.0 in the fall while earning all Mountain West honors. So yeah, we're doing a really good job in the classroom as well.
Sierra, do you agree with that? Is academics just as important to you as performing on the court?
Definitely, because there's always going to be a time when maybe you can't perform on the court, and you need to have a dedication in the classroom to be able to still succeed.
Now, what is your major, and do you have a career path that you're looking at yet, or still deciding what you want to do?
Yeah, so I am going to try to maybe double major in graphic design and marketing. So a lot of volleyball players kind of take communication or another general kind of route, but I'm really excited about art, and I think I can actually make a career out of it, so I'm really excited.
A double major, that's a lot of work to be a student athlete. How are you going to manage all that time, you think?
Well, I have a lot of credits from high school, and so it helped me with my prerequisites and stuff. So just doing work, I guess.
Coach, have you started recruiting yet, and how is the recruiting class for this year looking?
We are always recruiting. We signed 3 players back in November. that I expect to make an immediate impact right away. We have a player from Washington who is 6'4". We have a player from Australia who is a lefty, which I'm excited about. We haven't had a lefty in the program, and I'm a lefty, so definitely excited to see what that can do for our offense. And then we have another player out of Southern California that brings in a tremendous skill set, and I know is ready to play right away because she's already playing at a really high-level junior program. So yeah, 3 incoming freshmen I think will be very impactful. We have 2 players committed for the future, all the way out to the sophomores in high school are already on our radar. So yeah, we're very busy recruiting, and I feel like Boise State is attracting really good athletes. You know, the name recognition that we get from having winning basketball and football programs is great, and I love going out on the road with the brand that everybody knows who we are, and continuing to build the program through recruiting.
Now, Coach, over the last couple of seasons, you've had 2 volleyball players participate playing overseas. Do you expect a third one for this upcoming summer?
Yeah, actually, we're going to send 2 this summer that are going to go to Europe and represent Boise State on the Mountain West All-Star team. Caitlin Oliver, our freshman middle, and Maddie O'Donnell, our sophomore middle, have both been selected for that. And I know that they'll have the time of their life, not only traveling in Europe, but also playing volleyball and seeing that next level of competition. It'll bring them back to our gym with their eyes open for what else they can accomplish in the sport.
Sierra, is that something that you'd like to do in the future as well? I mean, because you still have 3 more years.
Most definitely, yeah. I'm really excited about the opportunity and the different things that volleyball can, the ways that it can get me out of the country even, so.
Coach, you guys have sand volleyball coming up here really soon. Are you guys excited for this upcoming season?
I'm really excited. We've beefed up our schedule, expanded our season a little bit more. We're going to kick it off over spring break. We're going to take a trip down to Arizona and play 5 matches in 4 days down there in Sierra's home state. And then we've got a couple weekends in California, and we're going to finish up the sand season April 24th here on campus. We're going to host a sand tournament event with University of Oregon and University of Arizona coming here to play the Broncos.
Now, we were talking a little bit before the show started about your practice. How is that kind of going? And you guys are in full swing next week, right?
Right. So we're focused on indoor training right now. We finish up our indoor segment this Saturday, and then next week we go to sand practice. But our team is really deep. Last year we had probably our best sand player, Hannah Hubbard, redshirted because of an injury, but she's back and healthy, and then the addition of players like Sierra and Maddie Osborne will really beef up our lineup, and I think we're going to be really good. I mean, for a somewhat of a cold weather state up here in Idaho, sand volleyball isn't easy to get started in the winter months, but I think once we get out there and start training, we're gonna improve fast, and I think we have the talent to knock some teams off. So I'm really excited about it.
Now, Sierra, we were talking earlier during the indoor season about how you were kind of nervous about, because you never played sand volleyball before.
Right.
So how has the practice in sand volleyball been going, and are you looking forward to giving sand volleyball a full go this season?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to help me with those secondary things that I've been trying to work on, such as defense and blocking. I am not too nervous about the fact that I've never played. You just have to learn the rules and adapt to it. It's still volleyball. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, despite the cold weather.
Now, Coach, everyone on the indoor volleyball team is on the sand volleyball team, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so we take the indoor roster and we go focus in the sand game for about 5 weeks, which is really good for everybody's all-around game. So in the indoor game, you end up specialized. The setter is always setting, and a middle blocker is always in the front row, and a libero is always in the back row. In sand, it's not like that. Everybody plays the whole game, and I think it's refreshing for the players to be outside of Bronco Gym for their training. A little bit tougher at times to move and jump in the sand, but it's also really easy on your body that you're not hitting as many balls against big blocks and you're not landing on a hard surface. So it's a good break for them for the indoor game, and it's good all-around skill development.
Coach, do you think that kind of leads into my next question, is there a pretty big transition from going from indoor to outdoor and then having to do it again during the fall?
Yeah, and we'll work on some of that stuff early on. We don't just show up and just start playing sand volleyball. We have to learn that it's a little bit more about ball control and shots, and so you're not running the quick sets and the back sets. It's a little bit more straightforward and straight up and down. But once you teach some of the players the little intricacies there that are different, and like Sierra mentioned, the rule changes, I think they'll adapt quickly and their volleyball talent will come out, because it is the same sport. It's just played on a different surface with fewer people. So a little bit of tactical adjustment and they'll be fine.
Sierra, how are you coping with the transition? Is it a little rough, or are you think you're doing okay with it?
Well, starting new things is always tough and can be frustrating, but I have very supportive teammates, and since there's only 2 people on the court, you're always talking to that one person, and they're really helping me. So.
Do you think doing sand volleyball in addition to indoor volleyball, I think it's going to overall improve your game?
Definitely. I need to work on shots and picking up shots as well. So, because I've always just hit as hard as I can every time, and so I think this is going to really expand my skill set.
Coach, do you agree with that? Do you think doing both outdoor and indoor volleyball just really improves a player overall?
Absolutely. I think everybody will be jumping a little higher, moving a little faster. And the communication piece that Sierra said was something that we probably benefited the most from last year. Sand volleyball is not an overcoached sport. You spend a lot of time with just you and your partner figuring things out. And I think that's really good development for players at this age, that they have to work with their teammates to get better instead of always get fed information by the coach. It's a little bit more like trial and error. Let's figure this out. And it's just a real big benefit for them to have this option available to them.
Now, Coach, are you going to start recruiting players specifically for sand volleyball, or are you planning where it's going to be, both indoor and sand volleyball play together?
Right. Our focus is going to stay with indoor volleyball. We added sand to supplement our indoor team, but it is appealing. We have a lot of recruits visit that are excited about the opportunity to also play sand. But we don't look to any sand-specific recruits right now. We don't have the additional staffing or the time to spend with players that are not on the indoor team. So it's really going to stay focused on indoors.
Coach, your team finished 4-7 in sand volleyball in the inaugural season. Do you see you guys improving that record this year?
That will be interesting because we've really beefed up our schedule. We're willing to play anybody, anywhere for the short sand volleyball season that we get, and we were selected to play in a USA Volleyball event at Hermosa Beach, which is going to have some of the best teams in the country. We'll play Hawaii, Pepperdine, USC, Long Beach State. I mean, former national champions are going to be there, and then here comes Boise State in their second season. So I don't know that the wins and losses are going to be there, but it's going to give us the experience we want to be better players when we get to the indoor season.
Sierra, what do you think about that? Pretty brutal schedule you guys have to do this season.
Well, I would rather just play the best, and then we'll have the most improvement. If we play people that aren't going to challenge us, then what's the point? So.
Are there any particular matches on the schedule that you're looking forward to playing to see how you guys stack up?
Well, I am just really excited to go to Arizona because I lived there in the past. And I know a lot of players there, and I think they're a really good team. So I think just right off the bat, that's going to be an incredible challenge and a lot of fun.
Coach, how about you?
Yeah, I think Sierra's right. The trip to Arizona is on everybody's mind right now. It's only 2 weeks away, and we haven't started regular practice yet, so that's coming up really quick. But I'm looking forward to the trip overall. The team on the road is a bonding time for the group, and I know that they'll enjoy the warm weather that we get down in Arizona, but also the competition. We're going to play 4 straight days of volleyball down there against some really good programs and see where we're at. And then we'll come back to Boise and keep working on our game and continue to improve as the season goes on. But yeah, Arizona's the focus for us right now.
Sierra, you mentioned going back home to Arizona. Do you have any set plans to visit the family over there while you're down there? Or?
My mom will probably cook us a meal or something, but probably still going to be very focused on volleyball and just talk to them between matches.
How has the transition been from going to Arizona, kind of a warm weather place, to Boise that's all over the place? How's that been?
Oh, it's been exciting. I got to buy a winter coat, so never had one of those before, and wear boots to school. So it's really not that hard. It's more beautiful than it is challenging for me.
What do you think about Boise overall? Do you enjoy the city a lot? Or?
I do, yeah. I think it's a really good community. Sometimes it's hard to explain to people, just like the overall feeling that you get here. But people are just so friendly and so invested in what you're doing. So I really enjoy living here.
Now, Coach, you mentioned you guys actually have home games this season. You guys didn't have any. So you guys excited to finally be hosting some games right here at Boise State? Yeah,
we're going to have a great tournament next fall. This sand season for April 24th is going to be great, getting Oregon and Arizona out here to play at our new facility that Boise State opened last year. But then when we get to the indoor season as well, I'll definitely focused on that. Looking forward to hosting a tournament. We'll have Idaho State, an in-state rival, coming over to play. They won the Big Sky Sky last season. That should be a really good match. Then we'll have Northwestern coming from the Big Ten, and then Texas A&M Corpus Christi will be coming, and they're one of the best teams in their conference as well. So yeah, looking forward to home volleyball games and getting the local community out to support the team.
Now, Coach, we were talking before the show about you guys doing some exhibition matches. Talk about this upcoming this weekend. You guys have some pretty fun matches coming up at Bronco Gym.
Right, so we finish our indoor segment of training this Saturday. We'll have 5 teams coming over to scrimmage, and we do a round robin tournament in Bronco Gym. We'll set up 2 nets, free admission for anybody who wants to come out and watch. But you'll see some good local volleyball from all the colleges in the area that will come out to compete. So we'll have College of Idaho, NNU, CSI, and Idaho State will all be in our gym on Saturday, all playing 2 sets against each other just to get some practice and preparation for next season.
Now, once sand volleyball season is over, what does the schedule look like for the volleyball team?
We finish the sand season April 24th, and we shut down completely. We don't have any organized team workouts for about 2 to 3 weeks while they finish finals. Just focus on school. They all get to take off for the beginning of the summer, and then they'll rally back together in June to start working out and getting ready for the season in August. And they work out with the strength coach up to 4 days a week, and they do some play-or-run practices during that time. And take a summer school class or 2 to make sure that they're getting ahead of their studies and they're not overwhelmed with their academic load when we're in season in the fall. So it's a busy season. I mean, it's a busy schedule year-round for our kids, but they're really committed to the long-term goals that we have to try to win the conference, and they're doing whatever it takes to get there.
Sierra, what would you say the biggest highlight of this past season was for you?
Probably just the whole team earning awards, and especially the young, the sophomores and the freshmen. I think if one person on a team earns an award, it doesn't really say much about the program, but I think the fact that we had so many good players who got recognized really says a lot, and I'm really excited to see where we can take it.
Coach, any particular favorite moment that stands out from this last indoor season for you?
I agree with Sierra. The award recognition was validation of all the hard work that people put into the program. For somebody like Sierra to achieve so much right away in the program is a credit to the program that she walked into. That there was a lot of really good players that were welcoming to the incoming freshmen, and you got to give a lot of credit to our seniors in providing that leadership opportunity that made it easy for a freshman to come in and play. So Alyssa Gamble, Taylor Murphy, Brittany Reardon, those were our 3 seniors that have had great careers in the program, and we wouldn't have had the season that we had if they weren't leading the group.
And speaking of that, who do you see leading the group this upcoming fall season?
I'm big on not really identifying a single person in a leadership role. I think the whole team has to be responsible for leadership qualities throughout. You never know when somebody's going to be called on to kind of step up and say or do the right thing in on and off the court situations. But I think Sarah Baugh, going into her senior year, she'll be critical that she can continue to lead our team from the setter position. Allie Duffin comes back from a redshirt year last year to be part of that senior class, and then Caitlin Kinghorn is a redshirt senior. So 3 seniors next year. I look forward to seeing what all of them can do in their senior years on the court, but then off the court in leadership opportunities as well.
And Sierra, any final thoughts you want to say about Boise State volleyball that maybe I didn't cover or that you guys want to say real quick before we have to go?
I'm just really blessed that I got to have this opportunity to play for such a wonderful coaching staff and such a great group of girls. And I really think we can achieve a lot of great things in the next few years.
Final thoughts, Coach?
I look forward to seeing people out to watch what sand volleyball looks like on April 24th, and go Broncos.
And just real quickly for our viewers, the season kicks off March 25th, and you have the home meet April 24th.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Sierra, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is Brandon Walton for UTP, signing off. Until next time.